I always thought the hardest fights I'd ever have would be behind me, buried in the desert dust and army records. Nothing but stories for the bar and old scars I could point to. Turns out, the real war kicked off the day I traded in my clearance badge for a set of house keys, thinking I'd finally bought myself a little peace, maybe even freedom, right on the ragged edge of Tucson, Arizona. You can laugh, but freedom has a smell. Something like creosote after rain, or sweat on steel, or the first whiff of dry concrete curing in the sun. That's what I thought I'd found when I signed the last page of those papers. My own dusty chunk of desert, a battered stucco house, an empty lot out back, and not a single soul in sight telling me how high the grass ought to be or if my flag was too big or too bold. 20 years building things for everyone else, I figured it was my turn. No army, no contractors, no HOA, just Andrew Land, the deed, and a dream to turn four walls into something that finally belonged to me. Turns out, I was wrong about the no HOA part. Dead wrong. I hadn't even finished unloading my tools when she showed up. Blonde, tennis whites. A clipboard you'd swear was a sheriff's badge. The kind of walk that says, "This is my kingdom, you're just visiting." She didn't ask my name. Didn't offer hers. Just narrowed those eyes, glancing from my truck to my hands like I was a threat. "Are you the contractor? Or is this a rental?" That's how she greeted me. I told her straight, "No, ma'am, I'm the owner." She looked like I'd spit on her shoes. "Not in our registry," she snapped. I tried to laugh it off. "Registry of what?" Then she let me have it. Green Palms Preserve HOA. All homeowners must register for approval. Now, here's where you might expect me to back down. 20 years in the Army'll knock a little politeness into you. But you also learn to spot a power play when you see one. I pulled out my paperwork, triple-checked before I bought, and showed her deed, zoning, county letters. "Not your jurisdiction," I said, as easy as breathing. She didn't take it well, promised to verify with the board, and stalked off, leaving a trail of white footprints in the desert dust. I stood there watching, knowing deep down she'd be back. Some people just can't stand to lose control, even for a second. And so began the siege. The next week was a blur of moving boxes, sweat, solar panels being delivered, and the satisfying sound of tools clanking in the garage. I was just starting to believe I could settle in when Alexis returned. Same clipboard, different day, this time with a new set of accusations. "The board has not approved your occupancy. You're violating guidelines. You must vacate." I tried patience. I really did. "I'm not in your HOA. You're trespassing." She practically hissed, "You'll regret this," and peeled out of my driveway, gravel flying. Things escalated quick. Friday morning, I had 3 trucks in the drive. Movers, solar, foundation crew. Men in vests, gear everywhere, a portable toilet at the edge of the lot. And there she was again. This time with backup, some guy in a Green Palms polo, mirrored shades, and the same stupid clipboard. They started in on my crew, quoting codes, yelling about unregistered construction and disruption to the community. Then she dialed 911. That's right. She called the cops on my moving trucks. By now, I was more angry than scared. The deputies showed up, professional but tired. I handed over everything, license, deed, county maps. Karen was shrieking to the other deputy about squatters and non-compliant vehicles. I'll never forget the look on Deputy Hernandez's face as he read my paperwork, then told her, flat out, "No crime here. This isn't your jurisdiction. And if you keep calling, it's abuse of emergency services." She turned pink as a sunburnt peach. "You'll be hearing from the board," she spat. The movers chuckled. I got back to work. But the air was thick, like a storm building, everyone waiting for the next shoe to drop. Didn't take long. Next morning, a letter arrived. Fancy envelope, waxy seal, Green Palms Preserve HOA Compliance Division. Inside, notice of violation, unauthorized occupancy. Bullet points, no pre-approval, improper storage, non-standard vehicles, aesthetic norms. All ending with vacate within 5 days or face legal action. But I'd done my homework. I scanned it to my attorney, Martha, who laughed and told me to call the county, keep records, and prepare for a fight. Down at the county office, the clerk, Reggie, recognized the game. They do this every year, he muttered. Send fake violations to people just outside the boundary. Try to scare them into joining. He helped me file an affidavit. Put this in your window, he said, handing me a county seal map. They'll back off, or they'll mess up, and then you'll have him. I should have believed him, but the intimidation just got sneakier. My mailbox spent boot prints in the dirt. Security footage showed Karen snapping pictures, yanking at the post, walking away like nothing happened. That night, I started a folder, HOA incidents, screenshots, letters, everything. But she wasn't alone anymore. Soon I spotted a strange SUV guy with a camera, snapping photos of my truck, my panels, my workshop frame. Ran the plates. He worked for Sunland Community Management, the HOA's hired muscle. Next day, another letter, now from the General Counsel. Legal threats, talk of civil liability, environmental contamination, disturbances to the community. All bluster, all designed to make me blink. Instead, I doubled down. Martha sent a cease and desist. I called Elise Garner, an old friend who wrote for a local paper known for blowing the lid off HOA bullies. She showed up, took photos, listened to my story, and said, "This is predatory annexation. Most people don't fight back. You did." Turns out I wasn't alone. Emails started rolling in, neighbors, folks just outside the HOA, all with similar stories. Threatening letters, vandalized mailboxes, demands to contribute voluntarily, and even spray-painted threats. Karen wasn't just a busybody. She was running a campaign. The article dropped that Saturday. My bent mailbox, fake violations, everything out in the open. It caught fire, thousands of shares, outrage in the comments. Suddenly, the HOA wasn't just bothering one stubborn old Army guy. They had a scandal on their hands. Karen's Lexus circled the block, but never stopped. That evening, Trevor Manning, another victim, showed up with his wife, Sheila, and a folder of proof, photos, letters, even ring footage of Karen spray painting Sheila's mailbox. Martha called it racketeering, systematic intimidation, threats, and vandalism. We filed suit, named Karen personally, named the HOA and Sunland. Harassment, fraud, defamation, trespass. Asked for an injunction to keep them off my land while the case moved. Once the papers were served, Karen vanished. Clipboard patrols gone. Anonymous vehicles kept circling, though. I logged every plate, snapped photos, and kept adding to my folder. That's when they tried the carrot. Offer to settle if I'd just join the HOA, retract my statements, stay quiet. I laughed. That day, my security camera was smashed. The vandal wore gloves and a hoodie. No face, no plates, but I knew who'd sent them. Detective Moreno from the county's investigations unit called next. He'd been assigned to dig into the HOA's conduct, and what he found, warrants for email servers, whistleblowers from Sunland, proof Karen was rewriting maps, billing non-members, orchestrating a campaign of harassment, turn our civil suit criminal. Martha filed the new evidence. The judge approved. Karen was subpoenaed. Her lawyer tried every excuse in the book, but the emails said it all. Hit them with enough violations, they'll fold. They always do. Karen confessed in open court, fabricating violations, directing intimidation, forging maps. The prosecutor filed felony charges. Fraud, impersonation, criminal harassment. In that courtroom, watching her finally admit it, watching the judge grant the injunction, seeing Karen led away in cuffs, felt like exhaling after years underwater. The board collapsed. Sunland settled and got slapped with fines. The county dissolved Green Palm's HOA, and the remaining board members either resigned or turned state's witness. When it was all over, I stood at my fence line as they unscrewed the HOA sign, symbol of their petty kingdom. The civil suit paid out $600,000 split between me and the others. Karen got 3.5 years, barred from ever running an HOA again. Her mugshot was everywhere. Sunland CEO tried an apology, but no one bought it. My land was finally my own. No clipboard warriors, no fake violations, no intimidation. The new sign on my gate says it all. Private land. No HOA. No trespassing. No tyrants. I still keep that folder, though. Not because I'm scared, but as a reminder. When you're right, stand your ground. When they try to bury you, document everything, shine a light, and never blink first. We finished Trevor and Sheila's barbecue under string lights, ribs in hand, laughter drifting into the desert air. You started something, Trevor told me. You made it safer for the rest of us. I shrugged. Nobody sets out to start a war, but sometimes you have to finish it. That's the lesson I learned, and I learned it the hard way. I still wonder, though, where's the line between standing up for yourself and starting a fight? When does a rule become tyranny? Does justice mean revenge, or just peace at last? Drop your thoughts below. Ever tangled with an HOA or fought back against a bully with too much power? I want to hear your story. Let's talk about what's right, what's fair, and where we draw the line. Because sometimes the only way to protect your freedom is to take a stand and never give an inch.